Well, hi, everybody. Welcome back to segment 2 of Relentless Talk Radio. I'm here with one of my favorite people, Emmanuel Allen from Fitbit, and he is heading up this time around the health and fitness part of the broadcast. Next week, he's going to be on for Roots Recreation and Learning Center in Gilbert or Glendale. I always mix those up.
Glendale.
Shame on me, right? He's a polypreneur like I am. So, Emmanuel, tell everybody who you are and what your story is, what you do now with this Fitbit thing that you started to do. I'm excited to hear about it.
Well, thank you for having me on. It's always an honor to connect with you and to be on the show here. I'm Emmanuel Allen. I am a husband. I am a father, a pastor, and we'll go on all the other things. But my recent accomplishment is I am a certified personal trainer, group fitness trainer, and sports nutritionist. And so I'm so excited of the new phases of my life. And so I have a company called Fit Habit, and I'm just excited to kind of share a little bit of things that we're doing here.
So I'm intrigued because last we spoke, and I'm looking at my time here so I can make sure that I stay on board. So give me a second here to take a peek at my notes so we don't get off track again. Okay, so when we last spoke, first of all, you didn't have a beard, so I like the beard.
Right. That's right. I grew a beard.
Yeah, and you are the pastor of, the name of your church again is?
Breakthrough Life.
And you actually are also the director of Roots Recreation Learning Center. So the church and the rec center are in the same facility. You just had a ridiculous flood crazy thing that's kept you guys closed for a little while. Right. And while you were dealing with the debauchery of water damage, which is like hellacious, I've been through that at home before, and it's not for wimps, you were certifying as a personal trainer. Yes. Now, I look back at when you were running for, I believe, mayor of Glendale, correct?
City council.
City council. So I knew it was some big position, and you were a little heavier then, right? I mean, you had a couple more pounds.
I was a lot heavier. I was 70 pounds heavier.
So I love this because my favorite people to refer business to are the people that have been heavy and that have learned to lose the weight from a human perspective. Because not that I don't love the body beautiful people too, because I have a lot of friends that are that, and they've just been blessed and they've worked hard their whole life and they never had to lose 70 pounds or I've lost 45 pounds in one speed. I was a chunky kid growing up, right? But did you get the passion for personal training when you were taking that weight off, or did you have the passion before and then just kind of got it back? Or tell me a little bit about that.
Well, my family's always been into fitness, working out. My father has always been into working out. But when I decided to run for city council, I realized that with politics, you're going to have to be able to be mentally strong, emotionally strong, and I also want to be physically strong. So I knew I was going to have to knock on a lot of doors in the middle of summer here in Arizona, and I needed to make sure that I had my physical fitness together. So I went on the journey, and about a year preparing for running for city council. So I didn't win the seat, but I did win in losing weight, and I used to have high blood pressure. No more high blood pressure. So it was a great thing for me to be on that fitness journey and to really transform my life.
So I love this because what you're talking about is, in order to be mentally strong, you have to be physically strong, right?
Yes.
And it's kind of physically strong from where you're at. So, I mean, if you've got a disability or you have an illness or whatever, you have to be as strong as you can be given that reality, right?
Yeah.
And I love that you were a well-bodied person and realized that I need to be in my top of my game when I'm in the middle of this massive effort that I'm making, because in order for me to be a true servant leader, I have to serve myself and take care of myself.
Absolutely.
And I love that you're doing this while you're pastoring and while you're being of service in an organization that serves over 700 youth in Glendale.
Right.
This is very powerful. And I just want to say good for you, because being the power of example, right? You and I believe in the I am, right? I remember when we met about that we had to postpone. You had a flood. I was moving out of my house. We needed to take a second. But we both sat in your office and said, I am. I am the power of example, right? I am powerful. I am healthy. I am. Right? And that's what you bring to the table with your church, with your community service, and with this personal training that you're doing. So what's the biggest lesson that you've learned, do you think, about being a personal trainer? Because you've officially been a personal trainer for just a couple of months now, right?
Yes. And all started this year. Yeah. So just a few months now. And so what I've learned is that what I call the 4 Ds. You have to be driven. You have to be determined. You have to be disciplined, and you have to be dedicated. And I've learned that if you take those in every aspect of your life, you will accomplish and achieve the goals you need to. So you have to be driven. You have to be determined. You have to be disciplined, and you have to be dedicated to anything that you're doing in life. And that has helped me to overcome the obstacles that I've had to face with business, with church, with ministry, with, just everything.
Everything. I tell you, being a servant leader is not for wimps, right? I mean, it's just not. You have to be on top of your game emotionally to be able to stay true to your goals, right? So I love that you're bringing the physical piece into this. So tell me about the power of habit. You and I talked a little bit about that together, but tell what you think about the idea of making a habit, because fit habit, I like it.
Yeah. Well, habit is, there's so much power to a habit. A habit can change your life for the good or for the worse. And so when I was, I was told of a different name, or a name for my business. And I read a quote from a politician named Jim Ryan that said that motivation is what gets you started, but habit is what keeps you going. And there's another author that says, he says that if you can believe in change, and if it can become a habit, the change will become a reality. And I think that the power of habit is so important for us to understand that if you can make something become a habit, you can develop a healthy habit, you will be able to achieve any goal that you set yourself out to achieve. So it's so powerful. It can transform your life. And so when I thought about fitness, I said I had to develop a habit. And that's why I came up with Fit Habit, because that has the power. Habit will change the trajectory of your life.
110%. So when I've been a trainer for 35 years, I don't think we had this conversation. So I actually officially accepted money for training when I was 16, but I actually was training people when I was 14. Wow. My first client was a young woman who I went to school with who was battling schizophrenia.
Okay.
And I was a gymnast. And so her mom came to me and said, will you teach my daughter how to exercise? And I grew up in a bicycle shop in Vermont, so I knew a couple things about that. And I was at just verging on being an elite gymnast at the time. And so that she was really my first client, but I didn't start actually charging for the service until I was 16. And it's always been the thing that I've done, got me through high school, college, crap jobs. And, I just love being a trainer because I love helping people to transform, and I love the idea of creating habits. So one of the things that I would talk about with my clients is they say, oh, I don't want to get up early. I go, well, you're not, you're a busy professional. You're not going to do it at night.
Right.
You just, especially in New York City, I think it's different when you're in a more rural setting, but in New York City, after you're done working, there's so much going on in the city that you get sucked into the fun, right? And to the business meetings or whatever. So I would say you have to train in the morning. And they'd say, well, I can't get up in the morning. Oh, I want you to get here and shower. I want you to shower. You're like, what? No, I want you to get up in the morning and shower here. I want you to create the habit of getting your butt out of bed, walking the 15 or 10 or 5 blocks to get here, or taking the cab, and just shower here. Right. Eventually, it's going to annoy the crap out of you that you are just walking to the gym and showering. You're going to get here a little earlier, and a little earlier you get cardio in. Okay, and then you're going to be annoyed that you didn't get a body part in. So eventually, I would get them there for the entire workout. But the first thing was about getting them to create a habit about getting out of bed early. Right. So I completely agree with you about habit. Time blocking, super important, and setting. When I set my schedule up, I put exercise and spirituality and my personal life in there first. Everything else is fit in between there. Right. So that's how I become a lifestyle entrepreneur, because taking care of my spiritual, mental, and physical well-being is the first thing in order. Because if I don't do that, I'm not good to anybody, right?
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Which is what you're modeling to your kids that you work So you're a polypreneur. I mean, you're like me. You're a polypreneur. I think I made that word up, but a couple other people have used it. But I love it. Polypreneur, right? Polypreneur. So what do you think? Like, how did that happen? Because I know how it happened for me. Like, my polypreneurship was like a process of just figuring out how to save my butt. Really, you know what I mean? So how did you come to polypreneurship, and what have you learned about being a polypreneur?
Well, transformation is like in my DNA. I'm passionate about seeing lives transform, seeing lives change. So so the spiritual aspect, the pastoralship is, transforming people's lives spiritually. And then with the youth, with our nonprofit, I had an opportunity to come in and transform our youth and to be able to transform our community. So that fit right into what I love to do. And then the physical part of it as well. And so I see so many people that are in churches and, and we have, we're not fit, and and there's plenty of scriptures out there that talks about how we discipline our body. And so that this is a temple. And so I want to bring that aspect to it of saying, hey, it's great to be spiritually fit. And I that's number one. But we also should be physically fit so that we can have some longevity so that we can do the missions that God has placed in our lives to be able to do. And so if I am healthy, you get me a lot longer, and I can do a lot more for the kingdom of God if I'm more fit, not only spiritually, but physically.
Well, people used to say to me, "Pick one thing and focus on that one thing," right? And so the business part of what people saw was always the first thing I'd focus on, because that was, about making money, right? But then I realized that everything I do is such an important part of what I do. It's all related. And so this year last year in November, I created Relentless Talk Radio to bring together philanthropy, health and fitness, art and fashion, and entrepreneurism. Because to me, that's, tithing and giving back and being of service. You can't just walk into a community and take from it. You've got to give. And you have to, in my opinion, you give in advance. I always give 10% of every painting that I sell away to a charity. And I always give, it's time, talent, or treasure. And so I give whatever I can give, right? And heavily in each category. And then, taking care of your body is about taking care of your mind and your spirit, and creativity. I think people just think that creativity is just a hobby that should be on the side, but really creativity is super important. What you've done as a polypreneur is you've created something unique. And that's as creative as a painting that I've created behind me, right? And then entrepreneurship, we all need to make a living, but you and I have created our lifestyle entrepreneurs. We've created a life around what drives us the most. And for you, it's transformation. I'm super excited. So how can people train with you? Do they train with you online? Do they train with you in person?
We do online. We're set up for virtual training. We're set up for in-person training. So we do one-on-one personal training. We do group fitness as well. We have been able to now do group fitness right here at the rec center that we have the after-school program and summer program. So we're here doing group fitness Monday through Thursday. And there, like I said, we're set up for online. We're working on videos too for video workouts on demand. So then you'll be able to download different videos on demand. But then we're also set up to do virtual training. So we're trying to cover every area to make sure that people have no excuse not to get in shape.
So what you and I are going to do is I'm going to come do a group class with you on Monday to Thursday. I'm going to put you on the Relentless Talk Radio schedule. People can come over for a free class and check you out. We're going to talk about how we can turn people on to what you're doing virtually. And I've already added you to the Relentless Talk Radio Health and Fitness group. And I'm going to invite you to do some live videos in that group to teach the folks that have made a decision to join that group a little bit about something, and then invite them over here, right? So people can find out more about what you do at Relentless Talk Radio's group. So they can just search on Facebook for Relentless Talk Radio Health and Fitness and ask to join. How can they reach you personally to be able to train either on-site or virtually?
They can go to fithabitaz.com. Go to fithabitaz.com. Real simple. And you can see everything is right there.
Awesome. Well, Emmanuel, I am absolutely impressed by you, the human being. I'm super duper proud of you. I really am. I'm so glad that we have an opportunity to work together forever as far as the fitness is concerned. I hope that Roots will be one of the contenders for the Art of Fearless Moving Back project. But if not, you and I have a plan to execute the project that we had in place last year in some capacity. So you and I will be doing something. I really love what you're doing universally. I just think it's noble, and it's good, and it's right, and it's what God put you here to do. So thank you for all the work you're doing and for your service. And I'll see you next week, and we'll talk about Roots.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
Hey, all right, thanks.